Most people believe their data is exposed because of hackers, malware, or massive data breaches. That belief feels logical, it feels dramatic, and it feels distant. But that is not how it usually happens. In reality, most data exposure does not begin with an attack. It begins with habits, small decisions, repeated every day, made without resistance. The apps you trust without reviewing, the shortcuts you take to save time, the information you share because it feels normal. You are not being targeted. You are not being hunted. You are simply reducing friction until access becomes easy. In this video, we are going to break down the small habits that quietly expose your data, why they feel harmless, and how they slowly become dangerous. Convenience over awareness. Modern technology is built around convenience. Everything is faster, everything is connected, everything is designed to remove friction. And friction is where security usually lives. When an app asks for access, the fastest option is to accept. When a website asks you to sign in, the fastest option is to stay logged in. These decisions feel insignificant because nothing breaks immediately. There are no alarms, no warnings, no visible consequences. But each shortcut removes a layer of protection. Security is rarely lost all at once. It erodes gradually. And the more convenient a system becomes, the more responsibility is shifted to the user without them realizing it. Reusing passwords and persistent sessions. Reusing passwords is one of the most common habits people underestimate. It feels efficient, it feels manageable, it feels familiar. But modern accounts are not isolated. Email accounts connect everything. Cloud storage syncs across devices. Browsers save credentials automatically. When one service is compromised, the damage does not stay contained. Access spreads quietly. Password resets become trivial. Identity verification becomes weaker. Staying logged in amplifies this risk. Active sessions remove the need for authentication. They assume trust indefinitely. What feels like productivity actually creates dependency, and dependency creates a single point of failure. Trusting software and permissions. Most people do not install malicious software. They install tools that promise convenience. Productivity apps, browser extensions, free utilities. Permissions are granted quickly because the request feels routine. Access to contacts, access to files, access to browsing activity. Once permission is granted, data collection becomes continuous. This does not always look like theft. Often, it looks like analytics. But data does not need to be stolen aggressively to be valuable. It only needs to be collected, correlated, and stored. The danger is not always what an app does today, but what happens to the data tomorrow. Oversharing as a daily habit. Data exposure is not always technical. Often, it's behavioral. Photos reveal locations, posts reveal routines, stories reveal time and presence. Each action feels harmless in isolation, but patterns form quickly. Daily habits become predictable. Preferences become obvious. Relationships become visible. Attackers do not rely on guessing. They rely on observation. Oversharing removes uncertainty, and reduced uncertainty lowers the cost of targeting. You do not need to share sensitive information to expose valuable data. You only need consistency. Normalizing risk and losing control. The most dangerous habit of all is treating exposure as inevitable. People assume data loss is unavoidable. They assume breaches are normal. They assume privacy is already gone. This mindset removes accountability. Security becomes abstract. Responsibility feels distant. But exposure scales with behavior. Small habits compound over time. Normal actions accumulate to risk. You do not need paranoia to protect your data. You need awareness. You need intentional friction. You need to slow down when systems push speed. Because data is rarely taken by force, it is slowly given away, one habit at a time. Your data is valuable not because it is secret, but because it is personal. Control does not come from fear, it comes from attention. Question the habits that feel automatic. Review the access you no longer think about. Reduce what you share without purpose. Security does not require perfection. It requires intention. Stay aware. Stay in control. Stay secure. Thank you for watching.